Are you ready? High voltage is upon us. Join our hosts, Chris and Sean, while they turn up the voltage.
Welcome back to Dadnarok High Voltage. This is Sean.
And this is Chris. And before we get started here, if you guys like what we're doing here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that like button, that bell, so you help us so other people can find us as well. And if you haven't already, check out last week's episode. We talked about the Marshal. So if you enjoy this episode here, check that out and let us know what you're saying. And drop comments there below. And we're an interactive show, so if you bring up something, we'll be happy to go ahead and interact with you along the way.
Yeah, if you're watching right now, you're live with us. Leave a comment on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. We'll see it, and we'll try our best to answer any questions or bring up any comments. But this week we're talking about The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 2, Chapter 10. That's a mouthful. The Passenger. Yeah. A lot of prelude just for the episode title. It's funny. I make our little title, screens and stuff on the thumbnails, and I can't finish it until I actually watch it to see what the episode title is.
Yeah, they don't drop the episode title early. They make you wait till Friday. I mean, come on, they can throw us a little bit of a bone here. We're helping them with their advertising.
Yeah, I mean, The Passenger wasn't that much of a spoiler. They could have put that out there.
Oh, no, The Passenger was so just obscure. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But what do you say we become a passenger on this show here? Just dive right into it.
Yeah, let's cruise into it.
Let's cruise right into on that jalopy of a Razor Crest.
Oh, that poor thing.
So what's your, before we dive deep into it, what was your first, without spoilers, impression when you first ended it for the first time?
My feelings directly after the episode were filler episode. And, this is the kind of episode that would stretch out a story arc over a 22 episode season, the way TV used to be, where seasons would be 22 to 26 episodes long. But for an 8 episode streaming things, I feel like every episode needs to have some sort of chunk of plot
forward.
Yeah.
And we got none of that. I was thinking this was more fan service.
Yeah.
That's all this episode was. I mean, they gave you some of the X-Wings and some things, and we'll get into it, but I had some issues with the X-Wings, the way they conducted themselves.
Yeah.
Just because I know a little bit how the Star Wars universe was operating under Mon Mothma.
Right.
During the Aftermath series and everything down those lines. And but we'll dive into that. I mean, it's Star Wars. I mean, what's the worst? I mean, we're going to enjoy this for what it is.
Yeah, I was telling my buddy Christopher earlier tonight, The Mandalorian, it's kind of like pizza. Even a bad episode is still pretty good.
Yeah, there'll be enough good in the episode to keep it from being a complete stinker. I've watched it twice and then half with you, so I've watched it 2.5 times. If that tells you anything right now. So where do we start with this one here?
We start on Tatooine. I mean, we left right where we start right where we left off last time around. Mando's still got crate dragon guts all over him. He's got green slime all over him, like he walked off a set of old Nickelodeon show.
Those bandits tried to put get the jump on them too. I was like, really? What's going on here? I thought they were going to be bounty hunters, but come to find out they were just dudes in the out in the desert, waiting.
Well, I think they were after the child, and they knew to target him. So I think they were some sort of bounty hunter. Maybe they were hired by Moff Gideon. I don't know. I mean, we never find out, and we never will.
Yeah, no. The last one that lived had a jetpack on for 2 seconds.
Yeah, but look, I was excited when we started on Tatooine, and we did start for him basically leaving the scene of Mos Pelgo last episode, and he was just on his speeder bike because after last week, and I think we mentioned as such when we were talking about it last week, I had the tough time believing that we were going to get more Boba Fett storyline, because the way the first season unfolded, each episode was its own adventure, kind of on its own planet even. Yeah. And I thought that's the way that they would continue, and they did, unfortunately. I was hoping for a little more Tatooine.
They gave you that little bite and a little bit of anticipation that we may get more Boba Fett or something like that. But they're going to drag that out. They know they got a hook.
Yep.
And they're going to make you wait, just like Ahsoka and Sabine, and we know they're coming.
Yeah.
They're going to make us salivate for them.
Yeah, last episode was jam-packed. So, by contrast, this episode where it was shorter and not as much happens, it felt a little bit like a letdown. I mean, it was action-packed. Everything was gorgeous. I mean, it looked like a movie. Kind of mentioned like these ice spiders. We'll talk about it later, but that action scene, I mean, that was horrific. I was telling you they should have played this episode last week during Halloween because it was kind of frightening.
Yeah, no, I agree. It started a week early, so we would have gotten that
Yeah.
in line. I agree with you. I mean, for the most part, it was filler. There was fan service built into it. And I mean, it looked gorgeous. We can say that about all of these, these Mandalorians, because they're all shot at such a like movie quality.
Yeah, I mean they're all good as far as production value. Like they're all top notch. So I don't know. Should we get into the plot? So basically, he's on Tatooine. He gets tripped up by I was going to say a clothesline, but that's not. He gets clotheslined like a wrestler. What is that called?
Just some rope they had going across. Those kind of hammered into it. It just caught the speeder bike enough, and it just kind of sent it flying.
Yeah, that one short bounty hunter thing. It kind of seemed like a Jawa, but he had a mask on. But he was definitely was speaking like Jawa-ese, I think. I don't know. It was strange.
It was some form of a Jawa. Yeah, I kind of agree because I love my ringtone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he gets going, then he gets the child back after, trading his jetpack for his life. And, apparently he's got like a remote control and he's hit go and it just shot him into the sky and just let him go basically.
Yeah.
And he just kind of fell.
That wasn't very smart.
No, I mean, I almost feel like they're giving, I think I brought it up on the last show, Mandalorian or Din Djarin, giving him more clout because he wasn't a very good fighter in the first season. And now we've seen him take down basically two gangs that try to get the jump on him in back-to-back episodes.
Yeah, very quick thinker. Yeah, he's able to kind of take advantage of the things around him, and he's a lot better in a fight this season. So I have noticed that. Yeah.
But now he has no bike. So now he's walking. He's got the stick on his shoulder, and he got that big old piece.
Has no bike. That was Pelly's speeder bike.
That's true. She didn't even bring it up. We didn't. No. It never even became an issue.
Yeah.
She just wants that big old piece of crate dragon meat that has no maggots on it.
Yeah, that would have been my first question. Like, did you walk back here? Where's my bike?
Well, yeah, what'd you do with my bike? And now how you paying me for that?
Yeah, exactly. But basically, that's what he does. I mean, he takes care of these guys. He grabs all his stuff, including Boba Fett's armor and the child, and just hoofs it back to Mos Eisley. We go right back to the cantina, the famous cantina, where Pelly is playing some cards, maybe sabacc, I don't know, with some sort of poker adjacent.
I'm almost 100% positive with sabacc.
Yeah, probably.
By the way she was holding the cards, the way the cards look, the whole get up. I mean, we know enough about Lando. We know sabacc is one of those games that run rapid on Tatooine and pretty much anywhere, just in the galaxy itself.
A lot of scum and villainy play sabacc. But she's playing with some big bug creature, which
damn ant.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I did hear that Peyton Reed, the director of Ant-Man, actually directed this episode. So I guess it was kind of
a little Easter egg towards Marvel. That's funny. It's not a surprise, but that's kind of funny.
Then you had spiders later in the episode, but yeah, she she's able to basically during this card game kind of get to the bug creature that she's playing cards with. To agree to give him more information, kind of another lead towards where more Mandalorians are, and he takes it. He kind of plays along. He's just kind of along for the ride. This Mandalorian, he's got a little bit more of a sense of humor, and he seems a little more easygoing.
I think it's because of Baby Yoda or the child. He's becoming more fatherly figure.
I think so. Yeah, he's warmed his cold heart a bit compared to last season.
But I mean, they're playing, and the only way he gets that information is if he goes ahead and pays, that big ant, basically call the bet, and he's like, is he running a hot streak? Hey, he got suckered. Pretty much what happened. To go ahead, I think he was going to pay for the information anyway. But he was like, okay, here, let's just go ahead get the information from this big ant, and you find out that not at that time, But you find out they need to get the Trask. I think the Trask was the planet they needed to get to go ahead and find this other convent of Mandalorians.
Yeah, Pelly knew what she was doing, and she made out pretty well. So they head back to her shop and cook up some of that crate dragon meat, and that's got to be a delicacy. I mean, I can't imagine that too many people eat crate dragon meat very often because they seem pretty formidable.
Yeah, and it's
you're not
huge.
taking them down
That's a
too
big
often.
piece of meat. What are they going to do? Cook it and then like make it into jerky so they can
You got to on Tatooine. Yeah, they've got to.
There's no waste.
Probably easy to dry it out on Tatooine.
That's funny.
But yeah, they kind of, this is where, I guess, at the end of Mos Eisley. This is the end of Tatooine for right now. I don't know if we'll be back this season. I don't know what this means for the Boba Fett entry into the season, but
We'll be back.
Yeah, you think so?
We'll be back. Yeah, with Pelly, she's becoming a big part of the series. Between being in both episodes here in the first, the second.
Do you think she'll be a crew member at one point, or she'll stay on her spaceport
like a nanny?
I don't know. Just part of the ship, like a mechanic.
Oh,
I mean, this is a beater, man. Razor Crest needs a mechanic and some droids on board to keep it taped together.
A beater's being nice, and this thing is a straight up jalopy.
Yeah, that's rough. I thought the Millennium Falcon was bad, but the Razor Crest gets beat up.
But I mean, we find out that where you want to go. We find this frog lady that's trying to get to that planet Trask. That they're saying that's where that convent is, so they can actually meet up with more Mandalorians. But there's a huge catch to this. He can't use his hyperspeed.
Yeah, that was almost a deal breaker for him.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, no, that's the only way I'm staying alive.
Yeah.
And
he's got his own life to worry about. Yeah, him and the child, like he's got to worry about himself too. And this is a big what got him to eventually say yes? Just to lead the prospect of seeing more Mandalorians, I guess, right?
I think that's it. He's just so desperate to find more.
Yeah.
And seeing that it wasn't far. So the idea of being able to survive that trip was possible. I mean, he said of course someone's gonna go to bed.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he must have been, confident that would have been no problem.
Right.
But it was still far enough that he was a little uncertain. Pelly went ahead and vouched for her.
Right.
And then she told him, "Oh, I just met her a few hours ago." I love her.
He caught that right away. He was like, "I thought you said you'd trust her with your life." She's a good judge of character. She was funny. She was funny in this episode. I liked her.
I enjoy her character as a whole. I mean, every episode she's been in, it's been a like a ray of sunshine in it.
Yeah. But they leave planet. I don't know if Frog Lady ever got an official name.
No, no, she's not even on IMDb. She's just called Frog Lady.
We'll just keep calling her Frog Lady. But yeah, they head off planet, and they're heading to this. Well, I mean, they're heading to Trask. Is what you said?
Yeah, I think we find out the name later, but that was the planet they were heading to.
Okay, and if you've seen trailers and stuff, I believe there is. And I believe this is where they're heading to. It's more of an oceanic world where there's a lot of Mon Calamari. There's like an actual port.
That would make sense with the Frog Lake. She said it's one of the only planets that her species can survive.
Yeah, so I think they're heading that. Hopefully they actually get there next episode, and we're not like, going hopping planet to planet with Frog Lady and for another couple
Razor
episodes.
Crest isn't going to get far very fast.
Yeah, because
I can't take any more Frog Lady. We got to get there, leave that storyline behind us.
Yeah. Well, if I'm remembering the trailers right, I think Sasha Banks's character, whichever she ends up being, if she ends up being the character from Rebels, what's her name?
Sabine?
Sabine. I wanted to say Siri for some reason.
Siri, hold on. You forgot Sabine Wren? Come on.
Look, man, it's been a while since Rebels, but yeah, Sabine. I think she was in that spaceport where she kind of appeared and disappeared. So hopefully, hey, fingers crossed, maybe she'll be in next episode.
That would be awesome. I mean, that would be me holding out hope. I mean, I lost all hope with the episode names that leaked out earlier before they started.
Yeah,
because the first two were wrong.
Right.
So all of those that leaked out, not a single one was correct.
Oh wow.
Well,
yeah,
to
so
the point. I'm not expecting. So was one called the Sorcerer.
Yeah.
So I was expecting that to be when we seen Ahsoka. And that was like later in the season, episode 6 or 7 or something like that. But seeing that these are wrong, it gives me hope that we'll see these characters earlier rather than later.
Yeah, definitely. So
So
they
you
get
want to talk
woken up.
about breakfast?
Oh yeah, I get you.
W-
Yeah.
We can't get through this. We're in the Razor Crest. We have Baby Yoda. We have Frog Lady. We have her eggs. And you even told me, so I knew this would be a spot you would laugh.
Oh yeah, I knew you thought it was hilarious,
Oh,
man.
it was
I
the
didn't. I was
funniest.
like, they're turning Baby Yoda into like committing genocide here. Like, not only are these eggs her offspring, her children, this frog lady's children.
But what do we do when we eat scrambled eggs? It's essentially the same. These are soft
Look,
boiled.
man, there's a lot of other chickens out there. If this was like the last chicken in the world, and we were just eating its eggs, I'd feel kind of bad about it. Apparently, her species is endangered, and this is like, very important that she.
Well, apparently she can sit in a bottle, a thing of water, and she can just sprout out some more. So, I mean,
Is
she
that what
doesn't
she was
end.
doing? I didn't know if she was just giving her existing eggs a bath or, spawning more. I couldn't tell what she was
It
doing.
looked like she sat in there because she didn't have the container with her.
Yeah.
She just sat there, and all of a sudden more came out. So it's like she was getting, preparing Baby Yoda for dinner.
All right. Well, then I guess I don't feel as bad for Baby Yoda to keep snacking on these things.
Oh, he loved me. He walked over, put his hand on them. They all came to him. He's like, "Oh, they're coming to me. It's
Yeah.
dinner time."
Yeah. At first, I didn't know if the eggs were like sentient, like almost like fish, and they were like, swimming towards them. But he was definitely using a force pull to pull them closer to the glass.
See, I wasn't the only one that enjoyed that. Look at that. See, I am not the only messed up one here.
It's fine. For me, it was right on that line of cute and despicable.
Well, Jimmy, thanks for that because I know I enjoyed it. So,
Yeah.
and I knew he would make fun of me for enjoying it. So,
Yeah, they even had the little tag at the very end. The last shot of the episode is him.
oh, she's hugging the container.
Yeah.
And he shoots another one.
Oh, he saved one for later. He stuffed that in his little coat earlier, and he was just like, "Well."
when will they have a good time to go ahead and get a snack for the road?
Yeah. So okay, well, that's my feelings on how that went.
But yeah, he was told no eventually, no more. And
Yeah.
actually, it was funny because we start to see the fatherly figure
Yeah.
of Mando coming out with Baby Yoda.
Yeah, we've seen
Because-
hints of it, but I mean, this episode was like on display full force. Like,
He got short with him at one point, like, get over here or do something.
right.
He's yelling at him for eating, like dinner rolls at a restaurant. Eating, the eggs. I mean, he's getting a little snippy. You're actually seeing what like a real father would do with a kid that's like just in the way all the time.
And that's dangerous. Like, what do you do with a force sensitive that's throwing a temper tantrum?
you got to be.
That's
You got
hard
to
enough
walk,
with
you
a
gotta walk
regular
the line.
toddler.
Oh
Yeah.
man. But I mean, it's great, and it's in this one too. I don't know if you caught on to it or anyone else did. There's a lot of, I want to say like baby noises, or like there's a lot more like noises that you would like, infer with a toddler or younger with
Yeah.
Baby Yoda this episode.
He was like cooing and grunting and doing a lot more kind of.
What was your feeling on that though?
It's like cutesy wootsy, like these cute little noises and stuff. But at the same time, like Yoda isn't like. I mean, Yoda speaks. He speaks backwards, and he speaks Yoda speak, but he still speaks. You know what I mean? So, I think a young baby version of Yoda probably would have all these coos and the same thing.
It seemed awkward to me. That's all. I mean, we don't know the origin. We don't know the age. We don't know. We don't know any of this. So I mean, we may be assuming this little guy is already say 100 years old because we don't know exactly how old they live.
Well, last season they said he's 50, which to me the math doesn't add up because if I would think that if he's 50, then he would be at least like a child, like a kindergartner that it would be able to talk, giving Yoda's 900-year lifespan. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. He's still like a baby, like a toddler walking around, still not speaking. I bet we'll hear him actually start to talk before the series end, though.
I don't know if I can handle that.
Baby Yoda's first words.
Yeah. Egg.
Yeah.
Soup.
But anyway, I guess we should get to the little bit of plot that is in this episode. So they get stopped on the way to the planet, their destination, on top of this ice planet, which It's not Hoth, I'm sure, but it's some other. It's not Ilum either. I thought maybe it was going to be Ilum, although I assume it's not Ilum. But
Yeah,
it's
they
just
really
some.
didn't give us any indication of what this was.
No, they didn't give us a name or anything. But as they're over this planet, they get stopped by two New Republic X-wing pilots that are just, kind of like when you get pulled over by the cops, just, license and registration, give me
Yeah,
your.
this is where I had the biggest issue with, because these pilots were acting so much out of character with the rest of canon when it comes to orders that Mon Mothma has given.
Oh, well, give me some insight there.
For instance, Mon Mothma is actually disbanding the military.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not doing so anything. If they're not engaged, they're not supposed to engage. So when they went ahead and spread their wings to get into fighter, readiness,
Yeah.
that was breaking from Mon Mothma's orders.
Yeah, like what is Mando supposed to do? Like you guys go off comms and then you put your S-foils in attack position. Like, duh. Like I'm getting the hell out of here.
Just that when they go ahead and then they threaten him to make sure, don't make me do this.
Yeah.
That breaks from everything else as well.
Right.
So that whole sequence, I was irritated with. It's like, Florent, you know better. You know the material. Don't start doing this. Don't start breaking from things.
Although, I mean, this is still soon after the New Republic has taken over. You don't know how close these guys are to Mon Mothma. There probably is supposed to be a new culture, out there for these guys. But at the same time, like, are they going to get a slap on the wrist? Like, who knows what, these guys, we don't know who these guys are. They may just be like rebellions within the rebellion. You know what I mean? Maybe they don't care. They don't give two craps about how delicate they are interacting with folks.
Yeah. And come towards the end, though, they prove that they know who he is. They've got enough clout to be able to pull information to make decisions. And I feel like they're giving these two clowns more room than they need.
Yeah, and it's funny that Dave Filoni made his second appearance as this. He has to be the same Rebel pilot or I keep saying Rebel. He was the same New Republic pilot that was in last season. He was one of the pilots that came in during that that one episode that he was breaking from the prison. And he's already had a guest spot as this pilot.
Well, they reference that whole scene.
Yeah,
they reference them breaking. What was his name out? Quinn.
Oh yeah.
And then they also reference the 3 that he apprehended and left there in the cell. So he got credit. Well, he got dinged for taking Quinn. Got credit for keeping the 3 there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how he got out of his jam.
And for saving that one New Republic officer, saving his life. Or at least attempting to. I don't think he did save his life. But they mentioned
remember that, though.
Yeah, there was a scene with the guy who actually does the voice work for Anakin in the Clone Wars. He had a guest spot as like a prison guard, basically the guy just sitting in one room with monitors as the robots kind of.
So this is that whole scene, that whole conversation was referring to Chapter 6 of last season. The whole thing,
pretty much, yeah. So things come around, which the continuity, that's cool that we can have some continuity.
I didn't catch that the first time. Like when they went ahead and went through the whole thing and the prisoner number and everything. It was the second time through when I was watching it again to go ahead and get the notes ready. That's when I hit pause and I was like, hold on, that's him. And then I connected the dots. That's why I think it's important to watch sometimes multiple times.
Yeah,
just because you'll see things that you're watching the first time just because you're enjoying it.
Right.
And you're just taking it all in. And sometimes there's just little nuances like, the prisoner number you miss.
Yeah, they can be pretty dense when there is dialogue. There's a lot of action scenes, dialogue, less action scenes. And even some of the dialogue was just, frog lady, rah, rah, rah.
Well, she woke up that droid to scare the crap out of Mandalorian.
I know. I thought that was going to be more parts of the episode, but it was just for that one scene.
Yeah, no, and it was pretty much it. I mean, we just got a little bit of a voice from her, and then it was done. We found out exactly why, and then she called him out on it. She was like, "Well, I thought the Mandalorians were good on the word, but I guess it's just stories for children."
Oh yeah, she knew exactly. How
she
to push
pushed the button, then he was out there repairing his jalopy with a welder. I mean, the thing was beat to hell, and he's out there just.
Yeah. How'd you feel about these? Well, I guess we get there. So, as he's doing that, this is at the point where she finds that Frog Lady has gone out to go, bathing in this
He's
sauna,
going to
right?
drop a few eggs.
Yeah, yeah, create more snacks for Baby Yoda.
It's gonna be a long trip.
So Baby Yoda, he gets chided one more time because he goes to eat one of these things again, and Mando's like, "No, I done told you, kid." And so you see Baby Yoda, he's like, "Okay, I can't have these," and he starts looking around, and you could see him like sniffing. He sniffs these other eggs out, and I got total like Alien vibes, like the eggs from Alien, just in this cavern, ice cold and out in outer space.
Do you
And
think if he didn't go and eat one, that they would have woken up?
that seems to what triggered, yeah, the others to hatch, like they were pissed
Kind of like a
off that they ate one of their
self-defense type
brothers.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was so funny the second time around. I watched him like waddle back nervously as they're like all these ones are like creeping up behind him, and he's just running Mando like, "Oh my, I done messed up."
Daddy, help me!
Yeah, help me, Daddy. But yeah, I thought these things were super
Done
cool.
messed up.
Like the design of them, just like the giant mother one that had the huge legs and like the mouth that was coming from the center of it.
Yeah.
The design of these were actually based off an old Ralph McQuarrie design, which, if you guys don't know, Ralph McQuarrie was like the designer from like the original trilogy, and he worked on the prequels too. So a lot of the stuff, a lot of the design work that we see, as far as lightsabers and what Jedi look like and stuff, what planets look like, comes from Ralph McQuarrie. And this spider creature was actually supposed to be on Dagobah initially. His design work was going to be that these spiders, when they were younger, they would be like these animals, and eventually, when they get older, they would actually plant their legs into the ground and become this fungus that would become these trees. And they were supposed to be like all over Dagobah, but they just they never used it.
Well,
in the
apparently
film.
these things are called Krakans,
Okay.
and they have a, like you were saying, they were supposed to be on Dagobah, but apparently they've got a deep history within Star Wars. Now, I'm pretty sure it's all within Legends.
Yeah.
Because I know nothing of it, and I started my stuff, once Disney took over. I figured I'm going to keep it all, cohesive. But,
yeah, that's so cool though that they can pull a Ralph McQuarrie design from 1979, 1980, and we'll just throw it in this episode in full beautiful HD, completely composited in CG. It was pretty great.
But I mean, the whole instant though, them running away, all of a sudden, mommy coming out, come busting through the top of the ice, and like I'm thinking back in my head, okay, you get to the Razor Crest, so that thing is already beaten up. It's already got holes all over the place. It's not going to save you from anything. It's just going to prolong it. So I mean, I was like, I don't know what you're doing, guys. I mean, granted, they had no other choice, no other course of action.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do? It's the only thing you could do, I guess. Let's just get back to the Razor Crest and try to get some sort of shelter going, which they did. I mean, that was it. As far as plot wise, this episode, not much. I mean, the X-wing pilots that we mentioned before, they come in, save the day right before the Mama Spider breaks through the cockpit. They take her down, but that was about it. Like, so it's like, I leave Tatooine, pick up this passenger. We're going to go to this other planet where I hear there's more Mandalorians. I got stopped by these X-wing pilots halfway through. I crash. There's some ice spiders.
This is very similar to the episode with the rhino creature in the first season. The Mudhorn.
Yeah, the Mudhorn. Yeah.
When he wrecks his, when the Jawas basically take everything, he's got to fight the Mudhorn to go ahead and get the egg for the Jawas to give back all his stuff so he can put his ship back together.
Yeah.
It's very similar to that episode there.
Yeah, and I hate to, because I know that Dave Filoni kind of works like this, where even episodes that you think are filler and don't have a ton of value in them, they seem to come back later. It's like, oh, you remember that one time? Yeah, and it did. And there's a lot of other instances in Clone Wars and Rebels where that same kind of thing happened, where there were episodes of Rebels where I was like, oh, that was a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
Like when they were talking to the space whales and stuff, like that was an episode where I was like, oh, geez, God. Space, okay, so Ezra can converse with space whales, great, and then it ends up being a big part of the finale.
Yeah, like, it comes full circle.
Yeah, so I reserve judgment to until the entire season is to really, but at first blush,
there's not much you can pull from this though.
No, I don't feel like there's a ton. No.
I mean, you have the X-wing pilots, maybe.
Yeah,
you have frog woman, frog girl, whatever,
Frog lady,
frog lady.
Frogger.
That I mean, I can almost see that being something they can pull from if they do go, to what's that planet's name? I'm blanking.
I don't know. You told it to me the first time tonight. So
Oh no,
Trask.
oh yeah, no, yeah, my bad. Taraka, Trask, yeah, Trask. Yeah. Wow, look at that. I'm giving you information and I forget I have the information.
Forget it yourself.
Wow, yeah, that's what happens when we're live. We just completely put our foot in our mouth.
Well, yeah, you can't like the Marshall's name last week. I've even seen it since then, but it's still not like sticking in here. It takes a few tries.
Yeah, we got too much going on. But I mean, overall, I mean, we talked about it. We mentioned it. I sit back and I'm not overly thrilled with it. I just don't like the interaction with the X-Wings. I think the X-Wings were more fan service.
Yeah.
So you kind of get, some.
Jimmy says, yeah, now she owes Mando and also her husband. So, I mean, I think next episode we are going to get some story threads from this. I don't think this is the end of Frog Lady character, and I will definitely see her husband. It kind of stinks that we don't really understand them. Maybe they'll have some droid head. They'll be able to actually speak to Mando whenever they get to the planet. But yeah, I mean, like always, we're just along for the ride. I can't wait until episode 3.
Yeah, we've got to reserve judgment on, like you said, we got to in Filoni we trust.
Yeah, exactly.
And kind of go on. But I mean, that's pretty much it. Like I said, it wasn't too deep this time. So it wasn't almost an hour show.
Yeah.
But next week, what are you looking forward to? Is there something that you're hoping we see sooner rather than later?
I would like confirmation that Sasha Banks' character actually is Sabine Wren, and to actually hear Sabine talk about what the heck she's been up to since Rebels. As somebody who watched all of Rebels, like, that's very exciting to me.
Yeah,
I would be lucky if that's next episode. And honestly, if that's next episode, like, we'd still have, 4 or 5 episodes after that, which is crazy because I figured, Mando wouldn't be running into Sabine and Ahsoka until pretty much like the last episode or something. So,
do you think Sabine and Ahsoka are together, or are they, because when they left Rebels at the end, they left together, so they're almost a package deal?
I feel like Sabine, Ahsoka, and Captain Rex are still together. It just feels better that way. If the last time that we saw them, they were kind of this small unit, it feels better to have them together again, as opposed to like they're all different planets or something.
Well, I can see Sabine and Rex being together, and then Ahsoka kind of doing a Gandalf and going off on her own, then coming back. Yeah, I mean, that's reached into another franchise, but
yeah.
Coming back Sabine, coming back to Ahsoka the White. Okay, guys, I think we dove into this pretty deeply here. And like I said, if you enjoy the show, please hit that like and subscribe, hit that bell, drop comments below. We'll go ahead and respond. Even if you're watching this recorded, we'll respond in there. It helps us. It helps everyone else find us as well. And we have a show as well. Is that right, Sean?
We do have a show. You mean the Dadnarok podcast?
We have another show.
Oh, you mean Dadnarok High Voltage?
No, I think it's a podcast. We just like hearing each other talk. That's about it.
Yeah, we do another show. It's the Dadnarok podcast. Hope you probably guys, it's maybe where you came from. That's what we've been doing for a year. We're still fairly new to this live streaming visual thing, but check out the Dadnarok podcast. You can go to Dadnarok.com. That's something I would have edited out in the podcast. That flub.
Yeah, we sound professional in the podcast. Here you're getting a raw deal.
Yeah. Go to Dadnarok.com, find past episodes, find links to all our social media pages, and find our shop as well. Speaking of which, Jimmy, I know you're on. Your hoodie is on the way, brother. You should be getting emails as far as the tracking number and stuff. But
you deserve swag. You're an OG.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, guys. Well, I think that's a good spot to go ahead and sign off. And next week, same time, 10:30. Hope to see you there.
See ya.